Hey y'all, thanks for joining me today. We are going to dive into an alignment yoga class. And what I'm hoping to highlight today in class is how fun alignment can actually be. I know that it can be thought of as stale or kind of just rule-oriented and dry, but what's so great about when you're really passionate and you kind of really dive into the alignment is that you can open up poses for students that maybe weren't accessible beforehand and in a really safe and supportive way. I've been practicing alignment yoga for quite a long time, and I know that over the years that I've been practicing it, it's kept those fundamental basic poses that we do every day interesting and exciting, and it's helped me continue to grow my mindfulness and my mental practice as well. So I hope that by going along with me on this journey, you can get some insight into how you can bring alignment to your own students. All right, that being said, let's get started. And you'll need a little spot on the wall to begin. And to get here, you'll lay on your side and then a little fetal position, and you'll roll onto your back and you can just slide your legs right up the wall. So if you're on the tighter side, you might want to be further away from the wall. And if you're a little more open in the backs of the legs, then you might actually be able to scoot yourself closer to the wall. And I just want to make a little note that it's often helpful when you're telling students their options of further away or closer to the wall, you actually tell them why. So they have some information to work with. Oh, I'm tighter, I'll get further. I'm more open, I'll get closer. So now once you're here, I want us to take a moment to settle into our breath. Right? Any place that feels nice for your arms, they can be alongside you or across your body. Just take a few deep breaths in and then maybe a nice exhale, sigh your breath out. Allowing the weight of your legs to get heavy in your hip sockets. Noticing the effects of your breath on your belly, on your ribs. Releasing any tension that you might have been holding that you didn't even notice. Let's go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And this might be quite enough of a stretch in your outer right hip, and you'll stay here. But if you have a little bit more room in your body, then you'll start to slide your left foot down the wall. But I want you to notice that as you slide your foot down the wall, does it cause your tailbone to kind of curl up towards the ceiling and flatten your lower back down into the floor? When or if that happens, I want you to pull back a little bit so that you actually can keep the curve in your lower back, right? Just a smidge of a lift away from the floor. And you feel like your tailbone is actually quite heavy, like it's trying to reach down into the floor. And when you make that movement, most bodies will actually feel more sensation and more stretch in the outer right hip region. Right, so you decide how far down can I slide my foot and keep that curve in my lower back. Just a little note, let your ribs feel really heavy on the floor. Right, so you're not peeling your ribs up to lift your back off the floor. The ribs are heavy. It's a movement of your pelvis. Then go ahead and slide your left leg back up if you had bent your knee, and then add the right leg to join it. Let's go ahead and swap it out, crossing left ankle now over right thigh. Little roll of that outer left thigh towards the wall where your foot is, and then decide if you want to kind of explore that sliding of your foot down without pushing your lower back into the mat. I didn't say this on the first side, but I want you to actively work your left ankle. So you're drawing your toes towards your shin. That'll help stabilize the shin bones and bring a nice amount of stability into your knee. All right, take another breath in. Exhale the breath out, and then slide your right leg up and then add the left leg to meet it. Draw your knees into your chest and take a little roll over to your right or your left, whichever one you need. And then make your way into your tabletop, coming onto your mat. Once you get onto your hands and knees, just take a few moments to warm up your spine in a way that feels just right for you. So as we move through yoga today, and we'll discuss the different alignment ideas, just know that it's not a one-size-fits-all. There will be a range of spectrum of movements, almost a continuum for each body individually. All right, take an inhale, tuck your toes, and on your exhale, shift into your downward facing dog. And again, just a little warm up, a little swivel of the hips, a little pedal of your feet. And then take an inhale, look forward, and walk your feet up to the top of your mat. And then come on down to seated. I want you to grab a block and then place the block on its lowest height. You'll bring your Achilles tendon area of your foot to the block. And then you'll go ahead and lay all the way down onto your back. Take your arms down alongside you. And then from here, I want you to roll your right thigh externally. So another way to say that is point your right toes and your right knee off towards the right. You're still, though, both feet are on the block. Take an inhale, and then exhale, bring those toes back up to the sky. Still, feet are on the block. And then do that same thing on the left. Feel the rolling of the left thigh as your kneecap and your toes point towards the left. And then go ahead and bring yourself back to center. Now, drive the Achilles tendons into the floor. As you inhale, lift your hips up off the mat. I know, it's a lot of work. Drive the heel part of your foot into the block. Feel your legs strong and active. And then exhale, lower yourself down. Okay, we're going to add on to that. Now, externally rotate your right thigh. So toes and knees point off to the right. On your inhale, press down into the block to lift your hips up. Keep pointing your left toe straight up to the sky as you drive the pinky side of your right foot into the block. Notice if you can feel your butt really grip and engage. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lower yourself down. 10 toes, point up. Now, left side, externally rotate the thigh, drive the edge of your foot into the block. Inhale, lift yourself up. And do this little play. See if you can soften your right glutes as you powerfully engage your left, pressing the pinky side of the foot into the block. Take an inhale, and then release it and lower down. Exhale. Ooh, I can feel my bum. All right, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. And then get enough momentum going front and back that you rock all the way into your rag doll, which is another way to say pretty nice and easy, almost lazy forward fold, just letting the backs of your legs yawn open. Maybe a hand variation of your choosing. And then we'll take a nice roll, put a bend in your knees to get there, up to stand, arms heavy, head finally rolls up. And find yourself in mountain pose. From your mountain, 2 feet fanning the floor, root them into the earth. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And forward fold, exhale, bow yourself down. Take a halfway lift, inhale, reach your heart forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog, step your feet back. From your downward dog pose, maybe those little fidgets and fixes, but over time, see if you can settle more towards stillness. And then powerfully press your index knuckles into the floor as the finger pads get a little bit heavier on the earth. Inhale, plank pose. Shift yourself forward and slowly we'll lower. Exhale all the way down. Let's take it through a cobra. Pull your shoulders back as you roll your heart up. And then exhale, lower yourself down. Reach through your toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Feel your back get strong. And then exhale, lower it down. Let's do one more. Notice where your hands press. As you inhale, index knuckle heavy, finger pads pressing. And then exhale, lower it down. Tuck your toes. Knees can be up or down. Inhale into your plank pose. And then downward facing dog. Exhale, press up and press back. Bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk, jump, or step to the top of your mat. Lift halfway up. Inhale, heart forward, thighs back. And forward fold, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale, arms sweeping high. And exhale, hands come down in front of heart. Let's do a sun salutation A. This is a lot about really filling the body with breath, getting that rhythm going. Inhale, arms to the sky. Fold, exhale, forward, down. Halfway lift, inhale. Either chaturanga, jump back, or step to the plank and move through your vinyasa. Coming down to belly is an option. Repeating cobra is available. Exhaling into your downward facing dog, moving to your breath rhythm. From your downward dog, inhale, bend your knees, look forward, empty out as you jump or step up. Lift up halfway, inhale. And fold, exhale. Rise, inhale, reaching through fingertips. And exhale, hands come down in front of heart. Pause a moment with hands at heart. I want you to notice the difference of trying to grip your fingers into each other. And kind of you get that little clawing action. The bottom of the fingers move away from each other. And now try this. Try to reach your fingertips towards the sky and notice how that really seals the fingers into each other, right? Like your fingertips could just grow to infinity against each other. On your inhale, arms up. Forward fold, exhale, bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Let's step to the plank pose on your exhale. Take a couple breaths in plank. And I want you to do those two different actions in your hands. Feel the difference from pushing your fingertips down and then the experience of growing your fingers long. Take an inhale and then we'll lower through the vinyasa. Maybe it's a chaturanga into your upward dog. You might maintain your cobra and we'll meet in downward facing dog on the exhale. Feel your fingers grow long. Inhale and then lower your knees down to the mat. Exhale, coming into your tabletop. Let's move through a cow, drop the belly, gaze up, and then travel through a cat. Exhale. Let's pause in our cat pose. Push your shins into the floor, dome your back, and then broaden your shoulder blades away from each other as you lengthen your neck. Let's go back into our cow pose. Wait for your in-breath, and then on your inhale, you'll ride into your cow. And then travel back into your cat pose. Once again, staying a little longer in this cat, really fine-tuning the actions here. Press your shins into the floor, get your fingers long, and then draw the shoulders away from your ears as your neck lengthens, chin towards chest. Let's take one more cow on the in-breath, wait for it, and then move. One more cat, exhale, not a long hold this time. Find your neutral spine, inhale, tuck your toes, and downward facing dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back. Inhale, float the right leg up into the air. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Take it into the high crescent pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And then take hands to thighs and exhale, dome and round your back like a cat. Push the thigh away from you. Keep bending your front knee as you drive the thigh away. Draw the belly back and pull the shoulder blades out of your ears. On your inhale, arms go up, heart goes up, high crescent pose, and hands down to the mat through your optional vinyasa. You might decide to take a downward dog or a child's pose instead of moving through your flow. On the inhale, left leg, float it high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. High crescent, inhale, rise. And then exhale, hands come down to thighs. Put the other hand on top, just a little bit different. And then drive the thigh away from you as you keep moving deeper into your crescent expression. Pull the belly back, pull the heart back. And then on your inhale, press the feet down to reach your arms up. And exhale, hands down through your vinyasa. Let the vinyasa almost just cleanse your palate. After that asymmetry from left to right, bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Land at the top, walk, jump, or step up. Come up halfway, inhale, strong, firm legs. Forward fold, exhale. Let your head get heavy. And then rise to stand. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, hands come down in front of heart. Pause a moment in your mountain. Look down at your feet. And I want you to do what I'll call roll your ankle. So let your ankle, like if you were walking and you were going to twist your ankle and you see this kind of bulby part of the ankle dropping out, and it's almost like you have a little sickle in your foot. And then go ahead and do that to the other side. And I want us to see what we're actually not going to do when we get into a little bit more complicated poses. So that idea of this kind of rounding, bowing of the ankle out, we're going to really resist that. Look how strong your ankles are, knees over ankles, right, as you stand. Inhale, arms overhead. Forward fold, exhale, bow. Lift halfway up on your inhale, and then step your left foot to the back of your mat, and then heel toe your right foot over to the right. Turn your right toes, your right ankle, your right knee all out to the right, and first just notice it looks like you're standing on your foot, ankle over knee. Now, in fact, let's just put the back knee down to simplify this first little go at this. I want you to start to pour the weight into the pinky edge of your right foot. You'll see the bottom of your right foot lift up off the mat. Instead of though looking like you're rolling or twisting your ankle, as you roll, as you take the pinky edge into the floor, keep hugging that outer right ankle in towards the midline. And then, a little bit of fun, I want you to ninja chop that pinky edge of the foot down into the mat. So you feel your outer right hip actively engage. Okay, so you're feeling a little heat, a little strength build. If you want to stay here, do, or lift your back knee. Keep floating the left thigh up as you ninja chop the pinky side of your foot down, right? Only go so much as feels comfortable for your knees. If there's any knee pain, do a little less. To get back to center, press the inner foot and the inner heel down, and that'll bring the knee back over the ankle. Heel toe yourself back to center. Let's take three-legged down dog. Inhale, right leg goes up, give it a little shake it out, a little wiggle of the toes. And downward facing dog, set your foot down. Left leg, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Heel toe your left foot over to the left. Let's set that back knee down just to start out. And point your toes, your knee, all out. Same line to the left. Again, you're not going to keep your left foot on the floor to let the knee roll out. You're going to actually let the bottom of your left foot begin to lift up so you can see the sole of your foot. And then drive the pinky side of your foot into the floor. It's not sitting there. You're not sinking your hips to the ground. You're actively pushing into the floor to awaken your hips and to keep you present. All right. And then if you did so on the first side, lift your back knee. Keep that powerful press of the outer pinky edge of the foot into the mat without letting the ankle drop down towards the floor. Take an inhale. And then press through inner foot, inner heel. Bring it back to center, heel toe it in. And three-legged down dog. Lift up, take it back, and give it a little shake, shake, shake. Set your foot down. Let's travel through the vinyasa. Inhale into your plank. Take your time as you lower. Feel that lengthening of your fingertips forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, inhale, look forward. Empty out, jump or step to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. And forward fold, exhale. Rise, inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, hands come down in front of heart. We'll do that again, a little bit more with breath rhythm. Inhale, sweep up. Fold, exhale, down. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot this time, step it to the back of your mat. Heel toe your left foot to the left. Angle toes, angle knee out. Push into the pinky edge of the foot to roll, to open up that left thigh. Inhale. And then exhale, bring it back to center. Three-legged down dog, float left leg up. And exhale, down dog, set it down. Right leg, inhale, up. Exhale, step your foot forward. Heel toe, right foot to the right. Aiming toes, knee to the right. And then roll the thigh open by moving the foot, right pinky edge. Drive it into the floor. And then go ahead and inner foot, inner heel presses back, heel toe it back to center. Three-legged down dog, inhale up, and downward dog, set it down. Optional vinyasa if you need a child's pose or something in between. Take your time. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From your dog pose, inhale, look forward, land at the top, how you need to. Halfway up, inhale. And fold, exhale. Let's ride in chair pose. Inhale, sit down into your chair, and then bring hands to heart center. From here, try to drive, scrub, in fact, your feet away from each other. They won't go anywhere. This mat stops you. And just feel your outer hips say hello, and then go ahead and release that. And then just do that one more time. Drive, almost like you're trying to get heavier in the pinky side of your foot to awaken your outer hips. And then now, keep the outer hips awake, but even the weight out on your feet, pressing a little heavier through inner heel and through big toe ball mount. Keep that as you ride into your mountain pose. Okay, bring your feet together. On your inhale, step your right foot 2 feet back and 2 feet to the left. Whoa, yeah, 2 feet to the left. And you're on the toes of your back foot. Inhale, reach your arms up, and then exhale, sit down into a chair-like pose here, right? So you're in an awkward sort of cross-legged chair. We'll do the same thing. Hands come to heart. Now, roll onto the pinky side of your front foot. Drive the pinky side of your front foot into the ground so you feel your outer left hip awaken. And then move your hips 2 inches to the right so you probably get a stretch in your outer right hip. We'll be here for a breath longer. Pinky edge of the foot, ninja chops into the ground without sickling or dropping the ankle. And then push the weight into the inner heel, big toe of front foot, and rise. One breath. Inhale into your standing mountain, one-legged mountain, and then exhale, set it down. Whew, when it gets that heated, my words get lost. All right, let's try it second side. Step your left foot 2 feet back and 2 feet or so to the right. Inhale, reach your arms up, and then go into this little chair expression. Exhale, sit down. Bring hands to heart center now. All right, lift the inner part of that front foot up. Work isn't done yet. Drive the edge of that front foot into the floor as you swing just a smidge your hips to the left. Keep pushing the front edge of the pinky, the front edge of the foot down into the mat. And breathe. You're on the toes of that back foot, hips to the left, almost like you're trying to scrub that right foot to the right. And then feel even press of that front foot down as you one-legged mountain. Inhale. And exhale, set your foot down. Let's travel through a little flowy vinyasa. Inhale, arms high. Forward fold, exhale, bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Vinyasa. Take it or leave it. Feel your fingers long, like they could grow into infinity. And downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Jump, step, or hop to the top. Halfway up, inhaling. And forward fold, exhaling. Rise, inhale, arms overhead. And palms come down in front of heart. Bring your feet together. On your inhale, step your right foot 2 feet to the right and then 2 feet to the left. Exhale, sit down into your chair-like pose. Inhale, lift that front inner foot. As you exhale, drive the foot into the floor, swivel the hips to the right. Take a breath in. As you exhale, seal the front foot down and then lift into your one-legged mountain. Inhale, right knee rises. Warrior 3, exhale, pass through the warrior 3. Hands can be at heart, take an in-breath. And we'll land in the crescent pose. Bend your front knee, slowly step back, and then arms go up. Inhale. Warrior 2 pose, opening up to the side, exhale. Take your hands to your hips. In this warrior 2, I want you to actually let your hips be facing more of a diagonal forward rather than trying to get your hips to face straight off to the side of your mat, especially with the work we're doing today, okay? Keeping hands on hips for now, we're gonna bring attention to the front foot, and you'll go only as much as is a good idea for you. Start to lift the inner part of your foot as you work onto the pinky edge of that front foot, right? We're not sickling the ankle. It's as strong and active as if you were, standing straight in your mountain. The knee will move towards the left as you take this action. Drive the pinky edge of your foot as if you're trying to scrub it down into the left so that you feel your glutes engage. Keep that gluteal action as you now press down through the whole front foot. Bend the front knee a little deeper in your warrior 2. Yeah, you'll probably feel some burning, some awakening. Add the arms. Inhale. And then exhale, hands down, step it back, and flow it out. Really draw your shoulders back in your cobra, in your up dog. Feel that exposure of the collarbones of your heart. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees, jump or step to the top. Halfway lift, inhale, and forward fold, neck softens, head. And we rise, inhale, taking arms overhead, and palms come down in front of heart. Second side, inhale, left foot, 2 feet back, 2 feet to the right. Exhale, come into this chair experience. Inhale, lift the inner front foot. As you exhale, ninja chop the foot into the ground, swivel the hips to the left. Stay with me for the inhale. On your exhale, recommit. Keep the whole front foot grounded on the earth as you rise. Inhale into your one-legged mountain pose. Pass through the warrior 3 pose. Arm variation up to you, not a long hold. Take an in-breath, steady the gaze. And then step it into your high crescent pose. Arms go up, inhale. And open to your warrior 2 on your exhale. Because it's important, I'm going to say it again. And this is a good cue for you as a teacher. If there's an important lesson of the day, repeat it. That is how we learn. Repetition, all right? So instead of the hips trying to face straight towards the long edge of your mat, let them be set at a diagonal, okay? Now, Lift the inner front foot as you drive the pinky edge side of your foot into the floor. Keep the tailbone heavy, but not tucking under, right? Find that kind of neutral place for the lower back. And then as you drive that pinky edge of the foot down, the thigh will open for most of us. You might feel a little more stretch or strength. And then even out, press down through inner foot, inner heel. Keep that engagement in the outer hip. Sit a little low in the warrior two if it's a good idea. Add the arms, inhale. And then exhale, hands down. Notice the asymmetry from right leg to left leg as you clear out that asymmetrical movement in your vinyasa, right? Stay tuned in to how the poses affect your body, to how the poses affect change. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Let's meet at the top of the mat, jumping or stepping forward. Halfway lift on the in-breath. And forward fold, exhale. Inhale, arms rise high above you. And exhale, hands coming down in front of heart. All right. Let's take the arms down along sides. Shift the weight into your left foot. And then glide your right foot into your tree pose. It can be along inner shin. You might prefer to bring the foot higher to the inner thigh. And then for a moment, just press the whole right foot into your left leg as you press your left leg into your right foot. Just feel that meeting in the middle. And now I want us to be a little bit more detailed in where we place the pressure. Start to, as we've been doing, press the pinky side of your right foot into your left leg more. And notice what that does to the right thigh, right? And for most of us, that will actually open us up into our tree a little bit more. It happens with muscular strength, right? So there's a difference from just kind of cueing our students where the bones move and then cueing movements that awaken muscles to move bones. Add your arms if you want. Keep pressing the pinky edge side of your foot into the mat. Don't worry if that, I actually encourage the thigh not to be straight pointing out to the side. It's actually going to be at a diagonal. There's going to be a firming and a toning in your glutes, but that's a lesson for another day. There's always some. All right, and then inhale, bring yourself back to center, and exhale, mountain pose. Set it down. Shift the weight into your your right foot. And then glide yourself into your tree experience. Right, so let's do this. Take your hands on your hips for this side and keep your hips pointing straight forward. Right, a lot of the times, in order to get this knee more open towards the side, our students will just swivel their whole entire pelvis in order for the knee to kind of aim in a different direction. We're actually going to keep the pelvis pointing straight forward, just like mountain pose. All right, notice what happens when the whole foot presses in. And now start to be more specific in your pressure. Pinky edge side of the foot is going to be a little more active. Right? Feel what that does. And I'm not trying to get you to point your knee more towards the left. What my goal is to wake your body up, right? To let those muscles come alive. And so just feel that aliveness. Adding arms if you prefer. Stay focused on the nuance. Pinky edge of foot presses as the right thigh or right shin moves to meet it. One more breath in. Bring your leg to center and exhale, mountain pose, breath out. All right, well done. Inhale, arms overhead. Forward fold, exhale, out. Halfway lift, inhale. Let's meet in downward dog. Take your time, how you need to get there. Feel the shoulders roll back, fingers long on the earth. Downward dog, exhale. Inhale, float your right leg into the air. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Set your back knee down. This time, heel toe your right foot to the midline, not to the right, it's going the other way. And then angle the right toes just a smidge to the right. Same work we've been doing. Spill the pinky edge side of your foot into the ground. The sole of your foot will pick up off the earth. Right, just notice if that right ankle is sagging into the earth. Hug the right ankle up into the inner ankle. Right, if you have enough going on here, I'm going to ask you to stay. If you want a little bit more, you'll take the back knee and move it a few inches back behind you. That's going to make this more intense. If you go back and you're like, oh shoot, always feel free to change your mind and move your knee back up. All right, no surprise here. Drive the pinky edge side of your foot down into the ground. That is more important than anything else happening in this shape, right? You're working in action to create an effect. And you know, get a little breath going. Please breathe, right? Even if I'm not cueing it. And you can stay right here, or you'll begin to round your back and move your forehead towards the sole of your foot. That might just be a funny joke, or you might actually be trying it out, right? Keep hugging the midline, right? I just noticed that I was really starting to swing over towards the left, so I brought myself a little bit more towards the right. I was kind of escaping the stretch. Pinky edge of foot, pressing powerfully into the floor to awaken your hips. If you have rounded your back and started to fold forward, slowly bring yourself back up. If you took that back knee back, bring the back knee forward. How do we get that knee back to center? Press through the inner foot, big toe. Everything comes back together. And then downward facing dog, step your right foot back. Just notice the difference from left to right. On your inhale, left leg floated. Exhale, step your foot forward. Touch your back knee down. Heel toe that left foot to the right, right? So it's right underneath your face. And then angle the left toes to the left a little. Now, keeping the ankle solid and strong, roll onto that pinky side of your left foot. Let this action happen from your hip, right? Not from the knee, not from the ankle. The movement is in the hip socket. If it works out to smidge that back knee back some, do. Drive the pinky edge of your foot into the floor to open your front hip a little bit more. Options, you stay right here, or you begin to round. And when I say round, I really mean your upper back. I want you to think cat in your upper back as you bring yourself maybe forehead to sole of foot. Maybe again, you're thinking, yeah, right, never gonna happen. And it doesn't need to. 2 more deep breaths. Right, again, notice if your whole body is sort of swaying off to the right. Mine was doing that again, so I brought myself back to center. Pinky edge of foot, press it into the floor. That is the effort that we're working towards in this moment. And then if you fold it down, bring yourself up. If your back knee went back, slide it forward. Feel the press of that inner foot, inner heel into the floor. 3-legged down dog. Inhale up and then downward dog. Set it down. Take an inhale, look forward. Bend your knees and jump or step to seated and come on down. Let's come into bound angle pose. Soles of feet together. All right. So from here, and I should mention, if you're quite flexible, it might make sense to put your feet up on a block like this, but that's not gonna really be for most bodies, all right? So once you get situated, I should mention, I want you to check and see if you're sitting on your tailbone, right? Especially for people that are tighter in the hips, getting a block and sitting up on a block will be hugely helpful here. So either, you know, block or no block, but it's going to be individual to the body. So as you come into your bound angle, I want you to, drive the pinky edges of your feet into the floor. So you feel your outer hips engage. And you might even notice that if you keep that driving action, pinky edges of foot into the floor, you actually can drop your outer thighs closer to the earth, right? And just stay with it for a couple more breaths. See if you can understand the relationship in your body today of that pushing action, right, of the feet is actually encouraging and awakening muscles that allow you to draw your thighs a little more open, a little closer. It's happening with stretch and strength simultaneously. Inhale. And now we'll round our backs. As you exhale, start to bring your forehead towards your feet. It might not get very close. Notice if your shoulders are in your ears. Draw your belly back. Use your abdominals to draw you deeper into this fold. Pinky edges of foot, they're still powerfully pressing. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, staff pose. Take your legs out in front of you. All right. And set your hands down alongside you. Okay. From here, you'll draw your right leg in, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. If you're, again, tight in the hips, bringing yourself back on your forearms can just make this all more accessible because the hips get to release. If you're okay to stay upright seated, then that's fine. Stay upright seated. All right, I want you to work this pinky edge of the foot down without locking out that bottom knee. So you might need to put a little bit of a press of your bottom thigh into the ankle. Notice how your hip awakens, hip engages, and then release that press. Staff pose or stay back on the forearms if you're on your forearms. Switch it out. Ankle crosses thigh. Notice, actively please flex this left ankle as you work the pinky side of the foot towards the earth and allow the left thigh to get heavy as a result of that press. Inhale. And exhale. Take your legs out in front of you. All right, if you're on your forearms, come on up to seated. Bring your fingertips behind you and let's keep the left leg straight, bend your right knee. And you might need a little help with your hands and you can lean as far back as you need to start to move yourself into a seated figure 4 shape. Now, I want us to feel 2 different things with the pelvis. First, use your fingertips to help you sit on your sits bones. So you're kind of taking your tailbone into the floor and you're trying to move your hip points towards the front of the room and feel that. Notice how that stretch affects you. I should mention light press of this ankle into thigh, active working of that of the ankle. Now let's do the other way. You'll actually scoop your tailbone under and you'll round your back, right? Feel that. Keep this work as you reach one arm, maybe both arms out to that wall in front of you. Keep pushing the thigh into the, ankle into thigh. Maybe you pick up your bottom foot and you're in this round hollowed cat figure 4 situation. Final little addition, bend your elbows like chaturanga arms and imagine your hands are on the ceiling. Inhale. This is a lot of ab work. Abdominals are engaged, and then exhale, set it down and release. All right, last little go at that. We have a second side. Bring your hands behind you. Again, if you need to lean back because your hips are tight, make it work for you. Ankle crosses. Bring your foot, your right foot in towards you. First, feel the action of sitting on your sits bones. When I do that, I feel more stretch in my left hip. Right? Like you're trying to climb your spine up, you're trying to float your heart up, and you're dropping your tailbone down into the earth. And then let's do the other way, right? This is more like, what we're about to do is more like cat pose. Scoop your tailbone under. You're rolling more now onto the back of your pelvis. And then you reach one arm forward, you reach the other arm forward. Keep pressing your ankle into your thigh to open your hip. Those just are a relationship that are so true anatomically in our bodies. Maybe you hover that foot, maybe you bend your elbows, maybe you imagine an arm balance, but you're upside down, so it's, you know, breathable. Inhale, and then set it down. Exhale. Everybody come onto your forearms and give your legs a little swish, swish, swish. At this point, I want to say, if you're not interested in an arm balance, stay where you are, right? So we want to give our students options along the way. We want to help our students feel powerful, to feel like they're accomplishing. And if we don't give our students options and they feel like they're just sitting there and there's nothing for them to do, right? That's on us as a teacher. So they've got the option, you've got the option, stay here. Or we're gonna try to flip it on our hands. So if you're coming with me, come on into your mountain pose. Otherwise, feel free to stay. Now, 2 blocks can make this arm balance much more accessible because the floor isn't so far away, right? So give students those options for the tighter hip bones. All right, first, come into your chair pose. Okay, here we go. And then bring your hands in front of your heart. Shift your weight into your left foot, and then bring that right ankle and cross it up and over. Just like we've been doing, drive the ankle, the pinky foot down to open and wrap that outer hip under. As you bend your your knees, you bring your hands to the blocks, right, or to the floor. Keep actively working that right ankle, flex it. Press the ankle into the thigh to work this outer hip, support it. This is gonna be like our cat. We're gonna dome and round. Look forward rather than down. Maybe you shift forward. Please keep pressing your ankle into your thigh. Press your ankle into your thigh. One more, press your ankle into your thigh, and then release it. Come back up. Controlled exit. Okay. Try it on the second side. If you're doing this seated, you're working your breath, you're working your practice. Come down into your chair pose. Hands come to heart center. Shift the weight into the right foot. Flex the left ankle as the ankle crosses the thigh. Push the foot into the thigh to engage and open the left hip. Begin to settle in. Sit a little lower, right? Move the blocks if you need to. Hands might be on floor. Press the foot into the thigh. I should say ankle. Ankle into the thigh. As you look forward, shift forward. Look forward, shift forward. Press the ankle into the thigh. Press the ankle into the thigh. Now you might float the back leg up. Then you start pressing the ankle into the arm. Ankle into the arm, right? All along the way, options to stop, to move forward, to pull back, and mountain release. Okay? Yeah, we're gonna do it again, but we've got options. So if you're seated, come on up to stand mountain pose. All right, so you might just stop in your figure 4, no interest in taking the arm balance. You might take the arm balance, right? Let's see, let's breathe and move. Down into the chair pose. Inhale. Hands to heart center. Exhale, shift the weight into the left foot. Inhale, ankle crosses thigh. Exhale, sit low. Stay here, or maybe try out your arm balance. Working the body into itself. Feeling the press of the body to balance yourself. If you want to jump into your chaturanga from your arm balance, you can, but don't feel like you need to. Slowly rise out of your arm balance, your expression. We'll meet in mountain pose. All right, last little go of it. Chair pose. Inhale. Hands heart center, weight into the right. Inhale, lift and cross ankle. Exhale, sit low, hands down. Inhale, look forward, shift forward. Use the press of your body to find awakening and stability. Make your fingers long. And then slowly, maybe you chaturanga jump back. Maybe you slowly make your way out. We'll all meet back in the mountain pose. Take your time to get there. All right, please arrive in mountain and just consider that journey. Right, so as teachers, we bring challenges to our students. Right, we also bring them the steps to show up for that challenge. If we just throw a challenge at students without any way, any means of understanding or approaching it, I don't know what we're setting our students up for other than maybe some failure frustration. So give them the information to succeed. Inhale, arms into the sky. Forward fold, exhale, bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Vinyasa, or if your wrists are spent, skip it. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From your dog pose, right leg floats up, inhale. Pigeon pose, bring your right knee towards the corner of the mat and settle in. If you know that pigeon is not great for your knees, please feel free to roll onto your back and take the alternative figure 4. So what's so great about pigeon is it's a similar shape we've been playing with all class, but no muscular effort now, right? No engagement, which might mean you need a prop, right, to provide some support. If you feel like your hips are clinging and holding, invite a solution, a softness, a support underneath you. Make your way out of your pigeon, maybe through tabletop. I like that after pigeon, but you might want a down dog, give it a little shake. And then we'll switch it over, pigeon on the second side. If we go into class as teachers thinking this will be a successful class if people learn how to do flying pigeon, there's a lot of external expectations, a lot of, I don't know how helpful that'll be for our students. But we can also, but it's not to say that we don't have goals. Right? So we can go in and we can say, I hope to teach my students how to engage their outer hips, how to awaken maybe a sleepy muscle in their bodies that's actually going to help them live really well, live really healthy in their day-to-day lives. And if they keep doing this practice, maybe they'll be able to do flying pigeon. But flying pigeon, accomplishing that pose, I don't think really shifts a whole lot from day to day. But finding a strength and a support in our bodies by working muscles that are sleepy or underdeveloped, that's substantial change that will make a difference in how people live in their bodies. Okay, come on out, tabletop or down dog. Nice little shake, shake, shake. And then come all the way to seated, have a block close by, and we'll roll all the way down onto our backs. Grab your block and let's come into a supported bridge pose. Slide your block underneath your pelvis. Arms alongside you. And then keeping your thighs in neutral. So try not to let the knees splay away from each other or out to the sides of the room. Straighten your right leg. If you don't feel any stretch, then you might straighten your left leg too. That might be necessary to kind of open up into the hip flexors, but one at a time might be just plenty. If this is at all uncomfortable in your lower back, first I want you to try to engage your abdominals and to slide your tailbone towards your heels. If that doesn't problem solve, then think of lowering your block, going on a less high setting. If you have only one leg out, go ahead and switch your legs out. Just undoing all of that pulling of the thighs towards the chest we did. Now just opening up and breathing across the front of the body. Go ahead and bring 2 feet to the floor. Take an inhale, engage your legs as you slide that block out from underneath you, and then exhale, lower yourself down. We'll do one active bridge pose together. On your inhale, press your arms, your feet into the floor to lift your hips and your ribs. And exhale, breath out. Let's take 3 more breaths. Feel the even press of your feet. Notice if you're heavy in the pinky edges of your feet. We do not want that in our bridge pose. Press evenly, even more maybe through the inner part of your foot to keep your thighs really in a neutral place. Safe place. On your exhale, we lower. Take your feet wide, let your knees knock in. Reach your arms up to the sky, inhale, and then cross your arms over your chest. Just give yourself a little bear hug. Let the weight of your thighs drop into each other, the weight of your arms rest across your chest. And then reach your arms up, inhale, and cross other arm on top, exhale. The ribs settling into the floor. Then inhale, take your arms high. And then exhale, take your arms wide, maybe to a cactus or to a T, depending on what feels good. And then draw your knees into your chest. And we'll take a little twist over to the right, exhaling. I encourage you to let all of the muscles in your body soften. If there's any muscles that are holding or trying to do, think about a prop, sliding a blanket or a block underneath you so that truly your body can rest. And then bring it back to center. Take an inhale. And then drop it on over to the left. Exhale. Letting the right shoulder and arm get a little heavier. Placing your head in a way that feels just right for your shoulders and your neck. And then bring yourself back up to center. Let's take a little happy baby. You can hold feet, you can hold ankles, maybe a little side to side rock and roll. And it is time for the Shavasana. And so when you're ready, take a moment to situate, to settle any props, any last movements that you'd like. As you arrive into your Shavasana, imagine yourself in vast spaciousness, giving your mind permission to wander in this place of safety, this place of rest, this place of refuge. And I will invite you to stay in the Shavasana for as long as you'd like, allowing your body to receive all of the benefits of movement and breath, balanced with surrender and stillness. And just a parting words that as yoga teachers, our students come to us with a trust that we know how to take them safely through poses. And it's our responsibility as teachers to show up and to meet that trust with responsibility. The best part of me on my best day bows to the best part of you on your best day. And together we say, Namaste.